And he fostered that for us. Another one is when he was UMO at the end when we were starting to redeploy, and we finished our 12-hour shift and went and worked another 2-3 hours weighing containers. And it was
Oh
like,
yeah, I definitely remember that.
yep, we all got together and just we
No,
we
I actually
clicked. We
think
knew
I
what
had
we
a
needed to
meltdown.
do.
I think I had a meltdown, but then yeah, we still got it done. I definitely remember that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
was it
it's
was some
just like
words. Yeah.
it was the one that kind of brought us to.
Staff Sergeant Brandon Cox. I am a affairs NCO. Currently assigned to the team, and I work as a senior editor here. And we got. I don't have much of a major.
Vice is here.
Oh, nice.
He's live.
Billy Bice.
Vice?
He shows that he's online, but good Vice. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Cooling it,
Thanks for joining us.
cooling it. Yeah, no problem.
Well, we just got started.
Well, why don't you let me backtrack with that question that I just asked you. Just talk about yourself, all right, and then I'll go into that other question. And then yeah, doesn't have.
Okay. All right, so we're backing up. You just want to listen in.
Okay.
Well, tell us,
Okay.
Staff Sergeant Cox. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I joined the Army in 2011 and as an airframe structure repairer, the 15 Golf, and then switched to public affairs NCO as a 46 Sierra, and I work here as a general.
Okay, this is Sergeant First Class Mark Wood, and Vice. Is it Will or where do you go? By?
Yes, Will.
Will. So
I'll go by Will.
okay. Starting with you by yourself.
Yeah, sure. My name's Mark Woods, Sergeant First Class. Currently assigned up at 125 in Fort Wainwright, Alaska. Just recently PCS up here. I'm a 15 kilo, which is a component repair supervisor, maintenance. So I oversee maintenance operations for the back aviation. So, and then we can also, hold other seats like production control and, but yeah.
Thank you. Will, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Okay, Vice. Well, as a 15 Golf aircraft structure repairer, I did 6 years, and then I transitioned out of the military where I started as an overseas contractor. Now I'm back in the States. I work for a company as a senior mechanic, teaching other people to trade.
Great, thank you. Go ahead and get things kicked off. Staff Sergeant Cox.
All right.
I wonder if you Vice are on the same track. Should we have Vice just mute himself when he's not talking? There's a lot of feedback.
Yeah, go ahead and let him know.
Hey, Vice. Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
You're gonna be on the same channel for this.
When we record.
Okay.
So just whenever you're, I guess, not gonna speak, just a lot of feedback coming back.
Okay. Yeah. Who is it?
Thanks, brother.
You need me to mute myself too?
Unless you were talking about your kids. If your kids start running around,
Gotcha.
they're not talking.
Yeah. All right.
I'll get things kicked off here. Staff Sergeant Cox, tell us a little bit. Why inspired you to write this article on the shop? It seemed like a very personal thing. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So, at least in my experience, I've been in the Army for about 12 years now, and the shop that we had, the group of gentlemen that we had in Germany, in around the years of 2013 to 2015, was probably the biggest building time for myself as a soldier and to help me become a leader one day. And I think that these guys, I just want to tell the story, and that time in my career meant the most to me, I think. Gave the biggest building blocks.
Your formative experience, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it really was. It was a formative experience that yeah. I'm like retarded right now. But yeah, I learned a lot from these guys, and I just want to share that with people. Kind of give people the lessons I learned from being a team member in the shop, things that I learned from other people in this shop, and I just thought that other people should know about it.
Before we get started, I know you had a question, Sarnaquita, but I'm just curious as to what you guys think about him calling you gentlemen. That was kind of like, it jumped out at me, and I'm like, what? Because if I was at the guys that I have, if I called my buddies gentlemen, they would jump on me and make fun of me. So I don't know what is it you guys got to say about that.
There would have been some razzing about it, I think, like in the day. I think it's the venue, maybe.
Gentlemen, no, hey, you gotta. I'm sorry, because we're kind of have our own shop here that we kind of have developed with our that term was just. We have another.
It's about dang time, Mike.
How are you guys?
Good, man.
Good.
Good, man.
Good. Vice, you're in.
Yeah, man.
You don't need your camera on
Haven't
if you
heard
don't
from you
want
in
to.
a while.
Although if Staff Sergeant Cox might want to come take a look at your grill before we get started.
Nah, I've seen it.
Oh yeah, okay. You don't need your camera on if you don't want it, man.
I've seen it.
It's a pure audio. So
Hey, give me 1 second. I gotta take a call real fast.
All right.
So I'll be
Maybe
right
just
back in.
just mute yourself, Mike, until you come back. Thanks, brother.
Where's that at?
I don't know.
Oh,
he logged off. Okay, going back to what we were talking about here. I know that it's that's I think that part of that kind of part of your relationship that you have with translate into the kind of effective team that you were, Sergeant Cox.
So having the ability, at the end of the day, I think we're all there for one thing, and it ends up just being, especially when you're deployed, it ends up just being for your fighting and left. You kind of forget about the things that people think that you go to deployment for. Like serving your country and things like that, and it just becomes the guys that you're with, and those are the guys you have the best relationship with, and work the best with. In the best scenario, right? In the best case scenario. But it meant a lot to me in how I formed as an NCO.
Mark, what do you think as far as that kind of what I was getting at too, with that kind of having that kind of relationship where you're close enough, and tight enough and comfortable enough with your team that you're able to poke fun at each other and still get the job done? How is that? How did that make? Would you say how did that make you guys an effective team, an effective shop?
So for me, like when I got there, that was like my first assignment where I was given like a large group of people to be responsible for. And one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to make more than, because we spend so much time at work, right? I wanted to make it something more than just, this place you dreaded going to. I wanted it to be somewhere that, you had to be there, but you didn't like hate being there. And having that ability to razz on each other and have that open, candid conversations without like the rigidity, I think made people more comfortable and like more open to those relationships. It wasn't just always yes sergeant, no sergeant. It was when we were behind closed doors within our shop, it was a family, and you could have a disagreement and everything would be okay. And I think that actually helped a lot with our effectiveness as a team, because we could disagree with one another about something and it wouldn't affect our cohesiveness on like getting the job done and like working together to accomplish the mission. because we had that openness, to say what was on our mind, to get things off our chest when there's a relation. So I think that ability to communicate like that is one of the big reasons why we were successful.
This was such a, like you said, Sergeant Cox, a formative experience for you. So I'm just kind of interested to know what kind of experience was this shop platoon for you.
Hello?
I can hear you, Vice. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you all hear us?
Did the call get disconnected?
We can hear you. Can you guys hear us? Mark, Will?
Hello?
I think they cut out or something.
I think Cox
wait.
got disconnected.
No, I'm still
Well,
here.
that's ironic. That's awkward.
Wait.
Audio check.
No, for some. Can y'all hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here. The mic was. I don't know why.
Oh.
Yeah, we're sitting there flapping our gums, and you guys didn't hear a thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's
it
weird.
was muted, but I looked up and it's like it's all muted. So go ahead and kick that off again.
My question again. So for Sergeant Cox, this was a very formative experience, and so I'm just kind of curious to know how was this shop platoon experience for you all? And we can start with Vice.
Started or whatever. It was cool because, or even my squad leader at the time, Sergeant Bernhardt too, like they would invite me over to their house for dinner. As a single soldier, it's a big thing. I always felt just a family connection with everybody. Like our first class would, as our cops was saying, we had a family vibe. So I don't know if we can curse or not, but I'm trying to be cool, but I'm a big shit talker. I get stuff started, stuff like that. I like to have joke around, laugh and joke and play. And with our shop environment, everybody got along well with each other. Like we would have disagreements, but it would never leave the shop, even if it was disagreements.
My thoughts of like what a leader should do and what they look like, and I guess solidified some of my personal leadership styles to continue to use them in future assignments.
Yeah, that was one of the things that when we were talking, myself and Staff Sergeant Cox were talking about the article, and we talked about, it wasn't until after he wrote it that he noticed just how much doctrine there was in your leadership style. Like he looked up Army team building, ATP 6-22.6, and all these things that he talks about in his article, and we went and researched it, and there's a laundry list in there that you hit a lot of these points.
Thank you.
Have you read some of the doctrine and now are you kind of
Yeah.
actively using it?
I don't know. Like to me, it feels like a good leader should just inherently do those things.
Common
Just
sense.
being a good person, following the golden rule, treat others how you want to be treated, and whatnot. So, it's I don't know. It's funny that like it's this difficult for some leaders to like get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, that's what I'm sorry to you can have the next turn, but I think that's why it's important that we have these kind of articles that go out to the that to a big audience like what we have through the NCO Journal, so that messages like things like this can get out to them. Ultimately you can read all the doctrine in the world, but if you're a good person, Suncox, go ahead.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it talks to the fact that that's why I initially wrote it. So the first thing I thought of, and I'm not, a super educated NCO or anything, but I decided I was going to write about the shop, and the first thing I thought was, well, okay.
And then that turned into okay, well, that's actually something that's in doctrine. That's something that's been put in regulation. And it wasn't until I looked into the APT that I found that, okay, all these things we were doing naturally were things that were written. You know, and it's funny because the last update up to, I think, to the APT 6, 22.6 was in 2015, and we did all these things in 13, so it almost feels like we almost wrote them in a way. You know, we were writing them before they were in doctrine, which is not true, but it feels that way because there were a lot of things that we were doing and a lot of pride that we took in our shop that I didn't see before that, and I didn't see too much after that either. So it says a lot about these guys that I worked with every day that were more than a team; they were a family, and I wanted to.
You know, I still would if I mean if you guys were in the team, I'd want to be there till I retired.
It says a lot because I learned a lot from you guys, not only how to be a soldier, but you know how to be a man, right? You know, our families know each other. You know, we went over to each other's houses. We spent every holiday together, and we set up special events to come and do things. Like that's something you don't get in every unit, and I think that is a shame because that is where the enrichment stage really takes presence, right? When you're building those teams, those cohesive teams. A lot of companies think that we just set up an org day and everything's going to be great, but half the time, most of the soldiers are mandated to go, and it's just they don't want to be there. And I get it, you know. You need to be more inclusive for your soldiers and make them feel like that they're important and that you want them to be there, and then you can build on from that.
Hey, Will, you got anything you can add to this? What do you got to say about that on what your two friends are saying?
Well, just a caveat. So in my eyes, this is how I looked at it. Like I said, as a junior enlisted, nobody was scared to share information, and this, you know, it was no ego. That's really what I would say is the ego. It was no ego in it. Because when I went to other units, and like I said, even as a civilian, you see the ego in people, and it's just you see the mistakes of others, and you see once you have good leadership, you notice bad leadership right away, and you take with the qualities from the good, and you put that in your back pocket. Like even with Cox, he's being modest. Cox was always he's traded MOSs, but he was always squared away. If I ever had a question, he would never downplay a situation or anything. He would always help me out to the best of his abilities, you know. And it was vice versa. If it was something he had trouble with, he had no trouble coming to people in the shop asking for help. It was no ego. And so like they
During the course of our talk here, you say something and you say, you know what, let me back off and restate that or whatever. We're recording. We're not going live. We're not live. So we're gonna edit and polish it up before we put it out. This podcast.
Okay.
Just be aware
Yeah.
that it's possible. It's just a conversation, you know, between a bunch of NCOs. Well, I know you're not an NCO, but you know, I think that the lessons you learned from the Army here or from your fellow soldiers, I think carries a lot of weight. So, but it is for the NCO Journal, and we're talking. Our conversation here is something that we hope that will resonate with us. So hopefully other young NCOs.
Gotcha.
So there you
No,
go.
definitely.
And Sergeant, if you could rephrase it or restate your question so that Sergeant Cox can jump in and answer it.
Yeah, so we've been in a lot of bad units, and one of the things that makes or probably makes a unit feel like it's a bad unit is because you're spending so much time at work probably. And part of that was one of the things that I took away from this article was that your team, even though they were